Welcome to Quits Gaming. My name is Sylvamort, and today is my first Q&A video. I've officially reached 240 subscribers, and even though I was waiting to release this at 250 subscribers, I have an adventurous eating challenge coming out at 250, so I figured, why not? I have the extra time, and I want to give you guys something as a thank you for, all the subscriptions. It actually means a lot to me that you guys subscribe to me and watch my videos and, comment, and it's amazing, in my opinion. So, I have just a couple questions here. I put out a request for people to send me any questions that they may have, probably about a month ago. So, only have a handful of questions, but I'm hoping that maybe in another 1,000 subscribers that I will have some more questions so that I can do another one of these. So, let's see. So Jordan Fleming asked, what's your favorite video game? I hate to say it because some people might debate this, but my favorite game, I think, will always be BioShock, just because it was sort of a revolutionary game for me in the concept of ambience and environment, just in the fact that I love the concept of old dilapidated places and being brought into this world where the environment itself was a character, and it was this utopia that just kind of disintegrated and fell apart and fell into despair is such a concept that I'm in love with, that I think it just has such a very special place in my heart that will always be probably my top favorite one. However, there are a lot of other favorite video games out there that I have, but that one's always going to hold a special place in my heart. So, Jordan Fleming also asked if I'm single. Technically, yes, now I am. My relationship of 6.5 years ended, and it's complicated right now. But, well, apparently I'm just not worth all of the problems that I have, so it's irrelevant, but yes, I am single. My favorite game genre, again, Jordan Fleming, would have to be horror. I love horror survival, but horror just in general is such an amazing game genre, in the fact that there's one thing to watch a movie that's a horror movie, but it's a completely other thing to play a game in the horror genre, because everything depends on you doing something. So it's completely interactive. I've always loved haunted houses since I was a little girl, so, well, maybe not a little girl, but a girl. So the concept of such a immersive experience of horror is just something that I've always loved. It's another reason that Silent Hill is a huge, huge fan base for me, as well as Five Nights at Freddy's now. So, here's Andy TV, asked, what is your main inspiration and influence for your YouTube endeavors? At first, it was to motivate myself. I've always been a gamer since I can remember, on like the Atari 5200 or 2600 or Atari. I remember Pong. That's a pretty young age for me. But I went from Atari to NES to SNES, and then the more recent generations. But I've always been a procrastinator. I enjoy video games, but I have a tendency to quit them. I'll play a little bit, and then I'll just be like, oh, this is too frustrating, or this is too boring, or this is getting drawn out, and I'll quit them. Hence how the name Quits Gaming actually came to be relevant, considering it started out as a joke. It started out with me asking my friends what I should call it, and my boyfriend at the time said, I think you should call it Quits. Well, ironically now it's actually relevant because I do have a tendency to quit games. Not rage quit so much, but quit. So I started the channel for a motivating factor, because I figured if I had a purpose, which was to make these videos, that I'd actually motivate myself to continue on the games and continue playing games at a more reasonable pace instead of the binging and then nothing that I have a tendency to do. Now, though, since, I mean, you guys have been so great, it's actually you. It transformed somewhere around the time that I started getting all these amazing people leaving me comments and having great discussions with me, that I'm not doing it so much for me anymore. Now I'm doing it for you guys. I mean, you guys genuinely seem to like the videos. You like watching me play them. Some of you love my expressions, which are not scripted, by the way. I genuinely have these expressions. And now it's just for the fact that I know that some of you actually genuinely enjoy seeing me play these games, and if I can do anything to make other people feel better, less depressed, because trust me, depression does run in my history, so I completely understand where you guys are. Anything I can do to help you guys feel better, to lift your spirits, anything like that, you guys are my motivation now. The adventurous eating is mostly because these are things I've always wanted to eat anyway. I love raw beef, as bad as it is for me, but I've always been a bit of an adventurous eater, and I've wanted to try new things. And this is just kind of an excuse to try new things and share that experience with other people. So, Mackenzie asked, how long have I been doing cosplay? Technically, if you want to count Halloween costumes, I've been doing cosplay since I was like 7, because I used to dress up as the Disney princesses. But if you don't want to count that, my first cosplay actually was at the age of 13, before I even knew what cosplay was. I was very infatuated with Final Fantasy VII at the time, and I loved Tifa particularly, so I tried to recreate her outfit, which on a 13-year-old was a little inappropriate, I should add, but I didn't know what cosplay was. I thought that I was just dressing up like a character I liked, because there were no conventions in the area at the time. And then it became Morgan Ainsley that I became infatuated with, and then later on, as I got older, I found out what cosplay was. So, how long? I'm trying not to release my age, just because that does tend to kind of turn people off from me. I'm actually older than I look, from what I've been told. I can easily say I have been doing cosplay for over 10 years. Let's just say that. How did I find the passion of cosplay? Well, as I said, I like fantasy much better than the real world. I love the concept of steampunk and dressing up. I love costumes. I was in technical theater in high school, so I got to participate in plays, and I love acting, actually, which is part of the reason that cosplay was so appealing to me. I don't just dress up like the character, I like to become the character, which is why I actually play part-time as a Disney princess. Well, not a Disney princess, because that's copyright infringement, but a princess inspired by Disney, should I say. Because I enjoy being that character for children. And for adults. I mean, heck, I've had full-grown adults come up to me and get pictures with me on occasion, and it's very refreshing. I like being that for someone, because I've always loved pretend and fantasy, and being able to bring that wonderment into the world is something that I've always enjoyed. Mackenzie asks where I'm from. I am from here in the Pacific Northwest, actually. I was born and raised in Vancouver, Washington, which is not in Canada, despite what people think. It's not Vancouver, BC, and it's not Washington, D.C., but it is not very far from Portland, Oregon. So, I've visited several places. I've been up and down the West Coast, and I've been to Indiana, North Carolina, a couple places like that. I visited Pennsylvania, but I've always been a West Coast person, and I I don't think I'd ever be able to move away from the Pacific Ocean. Mackenzie asked, what's your perspective about the future? Well, I will probably continue doing what I'm doing. I don't do this for money, although my videos are monetized, I suppose you'd call them, but I don't do this as a job. I don't make enough money to do it as a job. It's more of a hobby in reality, but ultimately I'd like to continue doing what I'm doing and hopefully someday have 1 million subscribers that would help me do things I've wanted to do. And ultimately I'd like to be able to have a big enough fan base that I can run charity streams, because well, it would be nice to do something for people. Or in this case, it'd probably be for, like animal welfare is something I'm very passionate about. It would probably be for the Tiger Endangered Fund or the Oregon Humane Society, something like that. But ultimately, for my future, I kind of just plan to keep doing what I'm doing and playing video games for as long as you guys want to watch me. And unfortunately, I don't have the name for the person who asked me this question. I apologize. But they asked why Silvermord. I won't tell you my real name because that's actually going to be for a quiz someday. Same thing with my age. When I get enough people, I plan on actually doing like little contests. If you can guess the right thing, you might win something. But the name Silvermord, I guess, actually originated from Redwall, which I was not aware of. I took the name because there was someone very, very special to me growing up that taught me a lot of things and helped me through a lot of things, and she was actually an online friend from South Carolina. Or was it North Carolina? From the Carolinas. I'm pretty sure it was South Carolina. But she used the tag name or handle Silvermord, and in honor of her, I kind of adopted that after her and I lost touch. And I keep that name now as my name because it always reminds me, every time I say it, of her and everything that she helped me through and where I've come from. So, yeah, that's really all of the questions that I have. If I missed any of your guys' questions, I'm so sorry. If you leave them in the comments below, I'll be sure to get to them next time. If you guys do think of any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or Twitter them to me, and I'll be happy to put them in the next video. So, thank you for joining me on Quits Gaming, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you.